plumbing. And then he backed off, and the people were annoyed, and they really wanted the pots and pans.
Pump still works.
Huh?
Pump still works.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They put indoor plumbing in next year, but, you know, got to get the pots now. And, of course, the pots pay for themselves, you know, because they say, you know. So really, they're free after 24 months of what you saved on utilities. The queasiness about price, about who somebody is selling to, about their ability to pay, their ability to afford it. Anytime you start to make those decisions for other people, it really reflects more about what's going on internally with you than it does with anything else. And the other thing to remember is that people who are without money that you perceive to be disadvantaged for one reason or another, and you question whether you should sell them something. Regardless of whether you get any of their money or not, they're going to be without money next week too. The reason they're without money has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with your existence, nor does it have to do with the way money works in the real world. It has to do with them. And whether you take it, somebody else takes it, the liquor store takes it, the church takes it, whoever takes it, I promise you somebody's getting it. Because if they're without money now, they're going to be without money again. And most of them are going to be without money permanently because they never fix the things that we're talking about that have to do with whether or not you have money. And it happens at all levels. I mean, we have people selling $50,000 programs to doctors. At one time, Tracy's, I get all confused with familial relationships. Is Rod your uncle? Yeah, okay. I mean, Rodney and I were selling a $36,000 program to doctors in the early 80s. And at least 70% of the doctors who bought couldn't afford to pay attention. I mean, let alone a $36,000 program. But when you're selling help to people, when you're a success merchant, there's only two buyers. There's the already extremely successful who don't need it, who buy everything because they practice the principle of the slight edge, and there's the starving and desperate looking for a life raft. The middle is not the market. And so if you only took the rich, you would starve. And so the queasiness has to go away. You got this doctor who just had his car repossessed, is having trouble keeping the lights on in the office, and is getting more calls from bill collectors than he is from new patients. And you're going to walk him down to 4 different finance companies and blast 6 of his credit cards to get $36,000 from them to put him into a management program. You can't have any queasiness. You can't have any reluctance. And you have to understand that the reason he's where he is has nothing to do with you, the guy who came before you, the guy who came after you. It all has to do with him. And there's plenty of money to go around. Nobody's ever going to run out of dough. And there's no excuse to be broke in America. Anybody can tomorrow start from zero, and they can get a bucket and a sponge, or they can, you know, and these chiropractors. I mean, I know lawyers who are broke. Can you imagine this? I mean, I'm serious. They get out of school with a license to steal money. Okay? And some of these people can't cut it. Well, it has nothing to do with any shortages. It has nothing to do with any money anybody takes from them. It totally has to do with them. There's plenty of dough. And now we have all the recession stuff going on, you know, and the media is desperately trying to sell everybody the idea that things are bad and are going to get worse for a variety of reasons. And so some people will believe that now that there's a shortage of money because there's a war. Other people think there's a shortage of money because there's a tax cut. Other people think there's no shortage of money. There's money everywhere. Just walk around, look around, you know. And you got to get past the zero-sum game idea that when somebody gives up money to you that you've profited and they've lost and there's less money over here now than there is over here, the money just keeps replenishing. It's always there. It's just some people don't see it and some people aren't smart enough to bend over and pick it up. But it's always there and there's plenty of it. The other big thing to get is there's mountains of dumb money out there. Okay. And so if you want to, you can more than satisfy your needs just dipping into the pond of dumb money. One of my favorites, this is, I forget what catalog this is from. It's not Neiman Marcus, which you usually find this stuff in Neiman's. It's not Neiman Marcus, but here's, I don't know what catalog this is. Gentleman's Domain. This is owned by Frontgate. This thing's been in for 3 catalogs. They ain't wasting the space to have fun. For, where's the price point here? The Eli Bridge Company in Jacksonville, Illinois. Now give these guys points if they initiated this for getting themselves in a catalog. The Eli Bridge Company builds amusement park rides, like the famous Scrambler, which is this thing. Okay? They've been building them for 100 years. And now, for only $300,000, they'll put that thing in your backyard. They'll build you a 67-foot high, 16-seat Ferris wheel. You'll need a 220-volt power outlet. Gee, no shit. And since it weighs almost 20 tons, you may want to have the patio checked out before getting started. By the way, that's right, you saw the Shed Shop infomercial. The happy couple with the 2 sheds in their backyard, the his and her sheds, they're both retired and they're on Social Security and he's got 1 small pension. They're totally on fixed incomes. 2 sheds. 1 ain't enough. The guy with the shed and the big pond in his backyard, you remember him? Oh, you should have heard his sob story. If you heard the sob story first, you would never think this guy's going to pop for 20 grand of landscaping, a koi pond, and a shed in his backyard. I mean, the poor soul hadn't got 2 nickels. His whole family doesn't have 2 nickels. But somebody sold him a koi pond, and he likes his koi pond. For a $75,000 upsell, you can get the mobile model. These guys are funny. That folds for compact storage in any 80-foot long garage.